With faces, you can explain more things. You can explain what you are, finally, what you have inside you. With a face, you can say the eyes, it's the emotion of the body when you see people. So you can, I can show what I have inside me with faces I paint.
Hello and welcome to episode 8 of Lo-Fi Podcast. I'm John Wentz. Happy New Year. Happy 2020. Bonne année if you're in France. Hope you had a good one. It was nice here in Paris, except for the strikes that are going on, so can't really get anywhere unless you're going to walk or take one of those ridiculous scooters. Anyways, a few things going on. First off, you'll notice we have new sound, upgraded the audio system, and we have many more exciting things ahead. Can't wait to reveal some of those. With that being said, I wanted to say off the bat, and I can't believe I'm saying this because I never wanted to say these things, but if you enjoy the podcast, rate and review. It really does help. I'm committed to this thing now, so I'm going to keep them going at least 2 episodes every month. If you don't want to rate and review, tell somebody about it you think might listen. And with that, tonight's episode is with a Paris-based painter, Antoine Cordet. Antoine is mostly exclusively a portrait painter. Very interesting, very emotional, semi-abstract portraits. I've been following his work for a very long time, and actually didn't know he was in Paris, France, until I really started looking into his work and researching more about him. So I contacted him, and he's a really great guy and willing to come down to my studio here in Paris. And we sat down for a bit and had a really good talk about process, motivation, what it's like being an artist in Paris, and many other things. So without further ado, Antoine Cordet. To talk about the work. So that being said, I can't remember how long I'd been following your work, but it's been a while. And it was really coming across your work was very, very striking. It was very different than a lot of stuff that I'd seen, just visually, but also emotionally. I thought there were some interesting things. So, like with that being said, I just asked for a quick introduction of you for anyone who may not know you.
My name is Antoine Cordet. I'm a painter, artist. I live and work in Paris, and I try to paint things I have in my head, in my spirit, with my experience and my hand.
When did you first start painting?
The first time was maybe when I was 17. It was the first time I made love with a girl, and it was a canvas I made with an old carpet and a piece of wood.
Okay.
So I made a canvas like this, and I painted on. It was abstraction work, because the first things I did, it was in graffiti. So,
yeah, you have a background in graffiti,
yes,
right? That's how you started.
So the first things I did on canvas was abstract, because abstract is kind of graffiti. It came from there, for me.
Yeah.
So it was the first expression I had on canvas.
So, wait, did I hear that right? Did you say that it was a carpet?
Old, not carpet, maybe
or like a rug, like
a couch. No. I don't remember the name in
But it was like
English.
canvas texture. It didn't have
like canvas
Ah,
texture,
okay,
yeah,
okay.
in linen, yeah,
Yeah. Okay, okay.
something you put on bed,
Yeah. Ah, okay. Yeah, like sheets or something.
maybe, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
So
I understand.
I cut it,
Yeah.
and I put it on wood. I made 2 pieces of wood, clack, 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 and I did that just for me.
What was the correlation? Because you said it was the first time you made love to a girl?
Because
Or made love.
it was, pow, like
So it inspired you.
yeah, exactly,
Really?
exactly.
Were these the sheets that I don't want to ask too many intimate questions? Were these the sheets on the bed that you made love in?
Nope.
Oh, okay. It was different ones. Okay. I didn't know if there's some tie.
No.
And so you were just had this rush of like powerful emotion.
Exactly.
So it inspired you to make
Exactly,
something.
Yes.
Do you still have that piece?
Sorry.
Do you still have that painting?
This is a friend of me has this painting.
Really?
And I give it to a friend long time ago, and I think she still have it.
Yeah. That's crazy.
Yeah.
And so what after that kept you painting? Why? How did you decide to continue?
And after it was natural.
Okay.
I did another painting on canvas, and I practically stopped to make it on wall.
Uh-huh.
And it's like, after something like a passion to do it on canvas, and after friends ask me, you can do it this for me. Yeah, okay, let's go. So it was like this during many years.
Yeah.
And after people wanted to buy me after, so it was like this, you make little money with this.
Yeah. So little by little, you're selling pieces, you start making pieces. But now I just want to get your timeline correct. Before that incident, the first painting on canvas, were you doing the graffiti on walls and stuff before that? Were you doing any art before that? You were doing graffiti as a graffiti.
Yes.
Okay.
Just on canvas or on paper.
Okay. So then, so you continued afterwards. And then, so that was, what year was that, maybe? 2013?
I was 16.
Yeah.
Maybe 15, 16. It was a friend show me first graffiti. So after I bought a magazine.
Yeah.
So I did graffiti on paper for friends.
Okay.
And on wall after. And I had a little problem with police, normal.
Yeah.
And it was like a passion, I wanted to make better always. And after it lead me to abstraction and to what I do now. It's a long experience after experience.
Right. Yeah. But between then and then what you're doing now, you did go to school, right? You went to the Beaux-Arts?
No.
No. Okay.
No. I did lots of things. I made studies in commercial.
Okay.
And I made architecture studies. But I gave it up. I realized it was not for me, not too much dependence to other people.
Okay.
So at this time I decided to paint every day and to see what's happened. I thought to myself, okay, nothing works, so let's do what you do since long time. So painting, so try and see what's happened.
Yeah. Do you find that, I mean, because for me, like those type of decisions, especially concerning art, are a very difficult decision to make. It's a very scary leap to take.
It was, I won't have the good word in English. It was vital. You know vital?
No. Vital. Oh, like vital? You
this or nothing.
Yeah, vital. Okay.
And when I realized I was not doing for have a boss or depend to other people, I decided to do painting, and it was all or nothing. So okay, it's a last chance
Yeah.
somewhere, somehow, and so I did it. I knocked in my apartment during 2 years, and I worked during 2 years in my apartment and tried to make things good, So and I have, for me, I have no choice.
Yeah.
To be lucky in this way,
Right.
Yeah.
And at that point, when you're deciding that, your work didn't look like it does now. Right. The imagery that you're painting now, like at that time when you made that decision, your work was very different, yeah?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, it is, because I painted the abstraction.
Right.
After I have a period, when my architecture studies, I painted interior of apartment. So it was the beginning of figurative. And after I decided to make portraiture, but I was very afraid to do it, because I thought to myself, it's very difficult to paint the face. But I tried with my girlfriend, my ex-girlfriend. So I realized it was okay. I can do it finally.
Yeah.
So I did it in a different way. I do it now. But the day I realized I could make a face in painting, I thought to myself, okay, it's okay. So now we have to make experience in this way, and we can arrive to a good things.
Okay. When you say make experience, you mean just keep working at it. You have to.
Yes. Keep working and explore.
And explore it. Yeah. What made you? Why faces? Because I always get that question too, because I do primarily portraiture, and I find a lot of people have very interesting different reasons why because it's really weird, don't you think, to concentrate on just a face, people's faces.
Yes.
And for you, coming from an abstract background and then you slowly get into portraiture, what was it about faces? Was it just a challenge? Was it just...
At first it was a challenge,
Yeah.
But with faces, you can explain more things. You can explain what you are, finally, what you have inside you.
Yeah.
With a face, you can say the eyes, it's the emotion of the body when you see people. So you can... I can show what I have inside me with faces I paint.
Mm-hmm.
And it's an attraction when you see a face in painting.
Mm-hmm.
For me, it's more interesting than abstraction or another subject.
Oh, okay.
Portraiture for me, it's directly that catch me.
Yeah.
So is what I want to do. But for the moment, I do it, and there is an expression. The face, it's something. The same face, the nose in the same place, the ears in the same place, but we are all different.
Yeah.
And this is very interesting to do it, to see, okay, you have the hair like this. Okay, when I take picture of my subject, this hair is like this. Okay, and I do it. It's composition different than the other painting.
Yeah.
And we are all different, finally.
Yeah.
And it's so interesting. I don't know exactly the word in English, but l'anthropologie. Anthropology.
Oh, yeah.
The studies of the body,
Right.
It's great.
Yeah. Yeah. It is fascinating. I never really thought of it in the sense that the the basic structure of everybody is the same. So you can do a blueprint basically of everybody, but getting into those small differences that really make people separate from each other. Yeah. And it's funny because it's not when you're, because I always get asked a lot about like likeness, you know, like if I'm trying to get that painting to look like that person, is that part of your goal? Do you care about that?
No.
Yeah. Why not?
I choose my subject because they are interesting for me. You know, there is a classicism in the face, something I like.
Yeah.
But it's not a goal to make it very, very
realistic or look like them.
Yeah. I want to take the interesting part.
Okay. Yeah.
You know, like maybe the stare or the nose, but it's not a goal for me to make it realistic.
Yeah. And do you find, because I think for me too, with that, when you go, like I like you paint within the model of realism, but I find I feel when you go too realistic, you kind of exit that area of creating an emotion, because you're more just now documenting the person. Like the more realistic it is, like if I was painting you and the more I'm trying to make it look like you, it becomes less emotional and more like, this is a painting of Antoine. It's a document of who you are, but not a feeling. Do you know what I mean? Does that make sense? Because like when, for instance, like one of the things I feel about your paintings that attracted me to them is they are really heavily emotional, and they're, and I don't mean, I hope this doesn't come off as a bad thing, but they're very kind of almost sad. There's like a melancholy to them.
Yes.
But if you kept just trying to paint and make sure you rendered everything in more like a classical portrait, you would lose that melancholy feeling, because it's also the way that you apply paint and the flatness. And so, you know what I'm saying? It's like you try and avoid that too much realism because you'll lose emotion.
Yeah, but I make abstraction parts.
Yeah.
Because when you paint too much realistic painting, too much realistic face, there is not. It's not. It's little kitschy.
Yeah.
Or it's not really personal. I want. Everybody can paint a face realistic if they have the technique and the patience. They can do it.
Yeah.
But I want make something abstraction, make my personality on it, and maybe there is my technique part in the eyes, in the nose, in the lips. And after the abstraction part, it's like angry. When I'm angry, it's like I put my my angriness.
Right. Yeah. Your anger, that emotion of being angry into the
emotion, sadness, maybe, and in this part of abstraction too. So this is a duo. This is all this make a big I don't know how to explain this. This is the wall painting make something, I don't want just the face.
It's
more.
All of it comes together to create something.
I want more. I try.
Do you think, because it's something that fascinated me when I first came here, which was like 2 years ago now, just over 2 years ago, is there, and I wouldn't consider you a traditional painter, but you're in the sense of looking like I don't know, it's like a classical realism, like yours is a very contemporary feel to it. But I was surprised at the lack of just painting here in Paris. Like the majority of the art is street art, and then anything outside of that is kind of more abstract base. and it was hard to find anything that kind of even resembles realism. So that was another thing that stuck out to me about your work. And then, like, I don't know if you know Lou Ross, like his work is a bit in that realism sense, where like we were looking at Thomas' work. Thomas to me is kind of in between there, but he's more towards abstraction. So am I wrong in that? Like, do you feel like what you do is a little bit on the outside of what's happening here in Paris? Or do you not even think about it?
I don't think so.
Yeah.
I tried to, at the beginning when I start to paint this in this way.
Mm-hmm.
It was my goal to, of course, to show my personality and to be different. But
that's so amazing to hear, because I don't know if it's a cultural thing, like American thing, but it's rare to me to hear people wanting to be different, their work to be different. And I think a lot of that's because social media, it's like it's easier, or if you're trying to sell, you paint this way, you paint that way. So to actively, you're like, I want my work to be very distinct, very unique.
Yes.
That was your thought.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because I want to, create an identity.
Yeah.
And when you see a painting, I want directly, oh, this is Antoine Cordet, directly. Yeah. And it was the things, to be, for people, for catch the intentions of people at the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted really to do it, make identity, make something different, to catch the intentions of people, and to try to grow up in this world, in art world.
Right.
But now I still to do it because I feel good in this way, of course. And there is an expression in a restriction, you create inspiration.
Oh, okay. I like that. In restriction, you create inspiration.
Yeah. So I stay in this, and it's very great.
Yeah. Yeah, that reminds me. I had a similar experience when I kind of changed what I was doing, getting into portraiture, and it was the same thing. And I got that from Chuck Close, where he was saying before he did his first very large airbrushed portrait, he didn't know what he wanted to paint, so his idea was the best way to approach it is to restrict your materials.
Yes.
And so he limited himself to essentially two colors, black and white, and then mixed grays from there, and an airbrush. Mm-hmm. And then he also limited to just a certain amount of paint. He only had this much paint to make a painting. And then within that, it's almost paradoxical that so much creativity can come out of that.
Yes, yeah. When you come in my studio, I don't have a lot of painting on my shelf.
Oh yeah, your shelf, yeah.
My color palette is very short.
Yeah, you work in a very limited color range.
Yes.
Yeah, and you work acrylics, right?
Acrylics and oil.
And oil. Oh yeah, oil touch-ups, and then you're using tea. You stain with tea. You stain
and wine sometimes.
Wine, yeah. Good wine? Do you use good wine or bad wine?
I hope. Yeah. Most of the time I try to
all French wine is good wine.
Yeah. A Burgundy wine.
Are things like that, like color choices, like when you work with a limited palette, how much of that for you is like a conscious decision of what colors, or do you work by your intuitiveness?
It's like instinct.
Yeah. Okay.
When I take picture of people, or sometimes that's happened, I choose picture in the internet. I know maybe how I will begin it, but I really don't know how I will finish it.
Uh-huh.
So during the process, I am very low. I'm very slow.
Oh, okay.
For a little piece, I can make 2 weeks to paint it. and I don't know. So after it's an instinct,
Uh-huh.
um, and how I paint where I live. So I can make something, make the dishes,
Yeah.
and I have an idea. That happened yesterday.
Uh-huh.
I have an idea, and I look it, the painting, and directly up close. I make things directly.
Yeah.
So I don't remember what was the question, but
Oh, no, it doesn't matter. No, that's good. I
it's-
like the inside of the process.
yeah, and it's for that I want to test, but it can be difficult for me to work in the studio, different where I live,
Right.
because I really have this habit, even at 1 a.m. when I watch TV,
Uh-huh.
and I put my painting next to the TV. It's finished, but I feel it's not finished yet. And I watch the painting, I watch the TV.
Back
I
and
don't
forth.
think about it, but the instinct is here.
Yeah.
And in 1 second, I find something new to do it. So I take painting, and I put painting on, and it's okay.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's my way to work, yeah, but I think it will be difficult to change it. I think if I have the occasion, I will try to
have
work
an
in the
outside studio,
Yeah,
yeah.
I will try. You have to try things different, but I think it's very, very enrichissant.
Je ne comprends pas.
My work is I think my work is better like this, in this way,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I find, because you're literally living with your work.
Yes.
Because when you're not painting, you're still looking at it and absorbing it. And it's interesting to me that, like, for me, like, as I was going on painting, noticing those little things that contribute to your uniqueness in painting, like things like that. Like my painting changed. I used to be like that. Like my painting space was my living space, and I painted very differently than when I got a separate studio, and my work changed. So it's really like even like one thing I was thinking about. I saw a video of you working, and I don't know if you always paint like this, but you like had the painting in your lap.
Yes.
It was like leaning on a coffee table and in your lap.
Yes.
Little things like that can contribute to somebody's uniqueness, right? As opposed to having an easel.
And I still
work that
like
way?
this, and I think it will be very difficult to change this process.
Yeah, and you probably shouldn't. It works for you.
Or maybe a table you can
raise up. Yeah. Drafting table could be better.
In plain. Yeah, I think it's very difficult for me to work in vertical.
Yeah, that's the only way I can work. Now, because I'm so used to
in
that.
vertical.
Yeah, it's in the vertical format. Yeah, I have a very difficult time when I put things diagonal. But
it's funny. Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny what you get used to.
We have each.
Yeah, everybody has their way of working.
Yeah.
But
it's great.
So when you have an idea, like when you're actually working on the canvas, do you work rapidly? Like
very slowly.
When your marks are very slow.
Your
whole process is slow.
It's a problem, but it's a problem. But I try to work very fast.
Yeah.
But my work was not good, or I try to work fast, but I have to be very methodic.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And for example, I paint a big one last year now, and so I paint maybe 6 hours on it. After I slept 4 hours, I woke up directly. It was like a challenge,
Oh, got up and started working
Yeah,
right away.
and it's funny in this way. And in 1 week, I did it, but in a real for this big size, I need maybe 3 weeks. So it was very experimental. I was tired,
Yeah.
but I realized, I can do this. I can't, because
It's not for
not
you,
my
yeah.
way. But it was a try,
Yeah.
to work. And some artists can do this, work, sleep, work directly. It's like boxing. It's
Yeah,
crazy.
yeah.
Yeah. Me, I can't.
Yeah.
I can't.
Yeah, and I'm curious how that actually affects the viewer's experience of the work. Because I feel like your work to me is very contemplative. Like in a way, it reminds me of, in a good way, Mark Rothko. The color field paintings, because those, like, I can sit in front of them and just stare for a long time, and that's how your paintings are to me.
Oh,
So,
thanks.
and to me, that's a very good thing. And I wonder how much of it is in the process, because you say you paint slowly, and I know, like, people like Rothko was a painter who he'd paint a section and then sit back and look at his painting for a long time, and then paint another section. So you know what I mean. So if you take that slowness, in a way, I wonder if the viewer, there's more for them to absorb.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Where in working rapidly, it's like there's a very energetic. Like I work pretty fast, and I feel like sometimes that takes away an experience from to be able to just sit and look at it for a while. Because when it's rapid movements all the time, maybe that's how you view the painting, and then you're done. You know what I mean?
But it's a contemplation for me to
Yeah.
work, and I don't remember who would say that, but when you don't work, you work hard.
Yeah.
So
I like that.
you work, and maybe I can say for my work, it's easily maybe 70% of contemplation.
Really?
Yeah.
Nice. Okay.
It's for that, it's slowly.
Yeah.
Because I make little things by little things, and after I watch, maybe that can 2 days. In 2 days, I do nothing.
Nothing on it.
And I try what's happened. I try to understand what's happened and what will be good. I take picture. I try on my computer. So it's experimentation too.
Yeah.
And the way when you work slowly too, it's I want to make my painting beautiful. Is not the ultimate goal to be beautiful in painting,
Right.
but I want it looks good far away and
Yeah.
closer.
Close up.
And I want my painting not only on the canvas, but inside the fiber,
Oh, okay.
inside the canvas. I want my painting
Very close.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I want my painting to be part of the canvas.
Oh, okay. I see.
And make something strong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's interesting. How did you, I don't know the proper way to ask this. Where did that idea come from for you? Because I find, the reason why I ask is I find, because you're primarily self-taught, right? A self-taught painter. You're a self-taught?
Yes.
You taught
yes,
yourself.
yes.
And my experience with knowing self-taught painters is they generally only think one or the other. Either they look at their painting from far away or they think of it close up. And that's a concept, like for me, I went to school for painting, and that was actually one of the most important lessons I learned in school, was to think of your painting far away and close up. And I had an instructor, he called it impact and payoff. So he would say, like, you have to have your painting far away, and that's what grabs somebody, right? That's the impact.
Exactly. Yeah.
But then you have to work on your painting close up and think of how you arrange things and mark making and stuff, because that impact brings a person closer, and you have to keep them there. They have to be interested in that painting. But it's interesting to me that a self-taught person comes up with this idea. How, where did that come from?
From my reflection.
Yeah, just thinking about
Yes.
looking at paintings, thinking about
Go
paintings.
away, going to museum, and
Yeah.
I've reflection about what I think, what I saw.
Yeah. Okay.
So after you can see artists and you like what they're doing when you are far away, and finally when you go closer, you are you say, oh, it's like okay, off.
Yeah. Yeah. I get it. I understand.
So it's kind of sad for me. So but I really want to do it now for make a quality.
Yeah.
I want to. I want my work to be quality and not disappointed people.
Yeah. Okay.
Really.
Right. Yeah. You want them to have an experience and
Yes.
connect with the painting.
Yes, I want to when people see my work, I want to say remember me somewhere.
Right.
So you have to make quality work of impact work with the subject, or sometimes artists can be things very simple and can have impact too.
Yeah.
But me, it's my way to make things good, and quality. It's a word I use it for my common life.
Uh-huh.
If I have to choose a table, I like this table with is
quality. Right.
and beautiful quality, cool. Try to have products very good.
Yeah.
So I try to make the same thing with my painting.
It's very French. You have the quality food, you have the quality wine.
No, yeah,
quality
yeah.
cheese.
Yeah, and Belgium too.
And Belgium too, quality beer.
It's for that I like Belgium artists.
Where an interesting thing to me about the idea of quality is because quality is almost a subjective thing. So for you, where was the bar? Who was the bar for quality? Because I imagine growing up in Paris, you have the best museums, some of the best in the world. Were those the painters that were setting the bar for you for quality? Do you know what I mean? Does that make sense?
But it's funny because when I lived in New York, I find New Yorker of you mean in art or in common life?
What do you mean? In what?
The quality in art.
Oh, in art. In art.
art.
Not just in life. Yeah.
Okay.
So for your art, you're saying you want it to be quality, and I feel like for myself, if I say that, there's a standard I set based on something. Like maybe it's artists that I liked. Like, pick one. It could be Titian, and I'm like, okay, that's quality. This is what I hold my paintings up to.
Okay.
What was it for you? Where does that idea of quality come from?
Quality, it's the beginning, it's the wood you choose.
Right. No, but I'm asking who, was it somebody, an artist you were looking at that set that standard for quality? Do you know what I mean? Like who would you say is one of your favorite painters?
Contemporary, it's a Borman, maybe.
Yeah. Is that what set the standard for you?
Yes.
For quality?
Yes.
Okay. So
yes.
was other artists that you were going, okay, this is what quality is. I have to reach this.
Oh, yeah. Borman, yeah. Maybe. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Borman, and after, Belgium artists I really like Belgium artists.
Yeah.
Because they have this quality. They have things like this. And you can, and even Netherlands artists.
Yeah.
And you can see it in architecture too. The architecture is very quality. There is something we don't have French, and I really love it.
You think you don't have it in France?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
That's interesting.
There is something, And when I go to Antwerp or Amsterdam,
Yeah.
I'm in the street. I'm like the Stendhal syndrome inside me.
Yeah.
It's simply even in New York too.
Yeah.
Some in the village there is simple architecture, but so I don't know that talk to me.
Yeah. There's a communication, or there's we say like intangible. There's something that's just hard to put words to that communicates.
Yes,
and
yes,
rings with you.
yes.
Yeah.
So,
But that doesn't happen with you here.
But I come from here, so
you're used to it.
You always say, you come from a place, so you have to see in another way but of course, Paris is beautiful. When I work sometime, I say, we live here. Okay, it's great, But Paris is more big, and the city in like Antwerp or Amsterdam again, it's more intimated.
Yeah.
So maybe can be lead something more for me I didn't have before. So it's for that I like it. Yeah. And people come from Amsterdam, love Paris. It's
Right.
like,
Yeah, you always that's like I come from America, and so
Yeah.
Paris to me is like magic still.
So you always go in another side what you have in your home, So
Yeah.
but I know Paris is great, and I love here. I love live here, of course.
Do you ever think you'll leave?
Sorry.
Do you think you'll ever leave Paris?
Yes. I had the project to live in Brussels.
Oh, okay.
But
Brussels is beautiful. Man.
Yes, too. Yeah, and people are very gentle.
Yeah.
But finally, maybe I will stay in Paris. I'm looking for another studio, a bigger studio.
Yeah.
So I'm waiting. Maybe in 2 days, I had the response. So I hope I cross a finger.
Yeah.
And it was in Paris. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, it's hard to get studios out here.
Yeah.
Very difficult.
Yeah. A studio and apartment.
And an apartment.
Yeah.
I don't know how. I mean, you've been here your whole life, right?
I come from Burgundy, so I'm here since 10 years.
Oh, okay, 10 years.
Yeah, but I had family in Paris before.
Yeah.
My grandpa born here, so we from here. Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah. Yeah, I was really shocked about how difficult it is to get, even just an apartment.
And it's more expensive.
Yeah, it's very expensive. Yeah, it's almost like
problem.
New York. Yeah, it is. I know, but it's nice. I don't know. I think with the surrounding, for me, because of the surroundings, it's worth the money. You can pay this much in New York, and I don't feel like you get as much. But that's different. I mean, like you really love New York, yeah? You love New York?
Yes. And and I live in South Bronx.
Oh, did you? Nice.
In the Queens.
Yeah. That's
in Brooklyn.
Area. Brooklyn.
Many times.
What year was that? Were you in Brooklyn?
In Brooklyn, in the south of Brooklyn.
Yeah.
In the south of Flatbush.
Uh-huh.
And after it was in the north near Bedford.
Okay. What year was it though? Year?
It was in maybe 2014.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it wasn't as gentrified yet. It was...
Yeah, I think because I returned in this part next year in December.
Last year.
Yeah,
very different,
and
right?
All the house was destroyed, and they built glasses building.
Yeah.
Wow, and it was not charming anymore.
No, it lost a lot of its charm. It becomes very sterile.
It's a pity.
Yeah,
it's a shame because it was not something. Charming.
Character.
Character exactly.
Yeah.
It's a pity.
And you were there for how long? 2 years, you said?
During 2 years, but by alternance.
On and off, you're coming back forth.
My ex-girlfriend is New Yorker.
Yeah.
And so I went there, with a visa. You can stay there 3 months maximum.
Yeah.
So I stay there, 2 months, 1 month. My girlfriend came in Paris. So you have
back and forth
like this.
Yeah, that's nice when you can do that.
Yeah.
Did that have, at that time being in New York, did that have any effect on your art? Did it change your art at all?
Yeah, sure.
In what ways, do you think?
Sure. But as I told you, architecture, with architecture, with the quality of things. I constate this. I remark this. The little things, the little detail. When you go to the shop, you have a little detail, a cup of tea, things very good. I remark this, and that impact me, in my work. And I can tell you too. There is a friend offered me a book, and it was a book of Raymond Levy.
Raymond Levy, I don't think I
And
know.
it's the first man who make design for products.
Okay.
So he said to the trade, you can make better look car, and you will sell it better.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And at the beginning, you always laugh,
Yeah.
And I read this book, and that I thought to myself, it's an inspiration. Of course, not to do the painting. You don't have to make things beautiful. You have to make emotion inside.
Right.
But that helped me to understand some things,
So it was a bit like nuances. It was smaller things, or more mental things. It didn't have a big, change the look of your art. It was more your approach to the art.
When you make something, when you make a product, you have to make the better of yourself inside, of course.
Yeah.
But you have to make it to enjoy the other too.
Right. Yeah.
And it's what I understand. I understood this.
Okay. I see what you're saying. I see. Yeah.
To make a living with.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah.
It's kind of commercial to say that, but it's a reality.
Yeah, it is. Was that a hard thing for you to accept? Like because I feel like we all cross that path of you're making art strictly how you want to, and then maybe start selling some pieces, and they're like, oh, this is possible for me to make a living. But like it or not, you have to consider a little bit the other side when it becomes more money involved, right? Like you're saying. And,
yes.
And it doesn't necessarily dictate what you make, but you do think about, was that a hard thing for you to accept? Because I know for a lot of people, I had an interesting experience going to school with art, is that I graduated with so many artists. So I knew a lot of artists. The majority of them quit because they didn't like that side of it, the money side. They're like, I can't do this. Was that a thing for you that you struggled with?
With the money?
Or just accepting the reality, that okay, I'm going to make a living in this, so I have to think more about my collectors.
Yes.
Yeah.
But
it was difficult or no?
No, because it's you mean make money with your heart,
right? And like you're saying, because now you have to think about the other person looking at it.
Yes, exactly.
And it being beautiful for them.
It's like a producer who make a movie.
Yeah.
You make a movie with what you have inside you, but with the better quality you can. And of course, you have to make a product that enjoy the people, because if you don't win money with, there is not really great interest.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. So how do you? I don't know if I'm voicing it well, because it's interesting to me. Like when you talk about your art, like in the beginning, it is art, and it's very emotional to you, and you have these ideas and conceptual attachments, but then you have no problem saying making a product because it is.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
How is it for you to integrate those two? Do you know what I mean? Because you find like a lot, like I know, like I was saying, it's like people that I went to school with, or even people I know now. I find painters or artists are kind of the worst with that. They're like, it's one or the other. It's either art or it's commercial product. But I don't believe that. I mean, there is an in between where you can still be authentic.
Yes.
But you are making a product.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
So how did you come to that, to be able to?
For me, it's natural. I don't. Have
I was looking for something deeper, man.
I don't have problem about that.
Yeah.
And I consider myself somehow more like an artisan
Oh, okay. Interesting.
because I create products.
Yeah.
But we make paintings, so we are artists since many centuries now. The artists are different than the artisans.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
But of course, I will shock maybe some people, but I don't care. But me, I make products, and I try to make money with what I'm doing. And of course, I respect this way of artist, and I feel like this, of course.
Yeah.
But I think every artist want to make money with what they do.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Of course, if they don't, they're frustrated.
Yeah.
This is
And
a goal.
They're starving.
Yeah. So,
But
but you don't have to sell your soul to the devil too. Huh?
right. Yeah.
You
There's
have
a middle ground.
You have to have a limit. You know.
Yeah. Yeah.
You don't have to make things ridiculous things or
Kitsch.
Yeah, exactly. You have to make a limit to yourself, of course.
Yeah. Is that now? Because my understanding and my experience so far in France is that money isn't something that's talked about a lot. The French don't like to talk about money.
Yeah. Money is taboo.
Yeah, which is very weird for me. So how is it that you have no problem?
But I don't like to talk about how much I win, of course.
Oh, okay. So you have a limit there too. You don't mind talking about like I'm making money with art, but you're not going to talk about how much or how.
Yeah. No,
okay.
It's not. But after, I don't have problem to say I make a living with what I do.
Yeah, you should. You should be proud of that.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. And people are surprising most of the time. You say I'm artist, painter, and you live about what you're doing. Yes. Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, I didn't know it was possible.
Yeah. We are 10% in France to live about what
10%.
Yes.
Oh wow, that's it. So that's small.
All the artists. Yeah, I read this.
Yeah, I don't know if that's small or large.
It's small.
Is it? You think it's small?
It's small,
okay.
yeah.
Because I don't imagine it's that much in the U.S.
Yeah.
Yeah. What a shame. What is that French, the taboo thing about money? Where does that come from?
I think because it's an old country.
Yeah.
From old continent, and in US it's a very brand new country.
Yeah.
And they have not the same approach about the money because US it's built on the money because you had the obligation to make things good, to make a living, because you had nothing. But and in Europe and all the other country, it's more hold, more people are more. I don't know how to explain good this, but money it's far away, and now money. You don't talk about it because people will be jealous, or
Oh, okay.
people will be say, "Oh, you have more money than me." But in US, I constate when people have money, people say, "Oh, I want to
I
be.
want to be like that.
I
Yeah.
want to be like that." And it was. I understand when I was in New York, and this is that push you
Yeah.
to make better,
To improve. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
because why to be jealous? It's ridiculous.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you are jealous, you are that mean you can't do what your neighbor doing. So
Right.
you have to make a work on yourself.
Yeah.
You have to that push you to make better.
Yeah. Yeah. It should give you incentive, or should inspire you, or something
Yeah,
to,
yeah, it's
to
great.
get
Yeah.
to get moving.
So I think
Huh.
about US, a new country like US. I say new. I don't know if you're okay with that.
Oh yeah. Yeah. No, we're very new.
It's like a young man.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, I see.
Want to
Yeah. That's an interesting way of looking at it, because I'd also say it's a young
and
man.
Europe
in that
and old. You are maybe a man of 50 years old. Try okay, so, and they don't want to
set in their ways. Yeah.
talk
Don't want to
about
change.
life. Yeah,
Yeah.
things like this.
That's interesting. So do you think, because of all the people I've met here, your mentality seems to be like a little bit French, a little bit US in a way.
Yeah.
Was that things you took away from your experience in the US? Oh, there was a mouse.
Oh,
Do you see it?
little mouse.
Yeah, we have mice in the studio. Yeah, sorry about that.
No problem.
Is that something you took away from your time in the US too, do you think?
I take away.
The idea of commerce and the way you approach money. That idea of that it should be
I
more.
think it's maybe that influenced me.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I take a part of US and I take part of Europe, and I try to take the better.
Yeah, take the good parts. And
Yes.
then make some, yeah, that's a smart way to do
Yeah.
it. Interesting. So, going back to your work for a little bit, I'm interested in your process. Like, why? Because as somebody who paints people as well, I have a very particular approach that I have to who I paint. What's it like for you? How do you choose who you're painting?
I choose a friend of me or people I met in party,
Oh yeah.
or photo I choose on the internet, but I modify
That's
it.
interesting.
Or it's a lot of fashion picture I choose on the internet. So when I know the name of the photographer, I contact him or her, and I ask if I can use the picture.
Yeah.
But most of the time I take picture myself, friend of friend, and I know directly who I can paint and who I cannot paint. In the face, my instinct say directly yes or no.
If you're able to capture something from them, or if,
directly I know.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is a finesse of face, attitude, an attitude.
Yeah.
The hair, the stare.
Right. Yeah, that's amazing to me. That for me, I haven't completely pinpointed what I can't paint. I still like at times I'll have somebody I want to paint, and then I try to paint it. For some reason, I can't pinpoint it yet what it is. But I know when I could. Mm-hmm. I just don't know when I can't. And that's interesting to me that for some reason you would struggle to paint somebody. You know what I mean? Be it a certain feature, a certain attitude, it just doesn't work well for you, you know. But do you?
But for me, for example, it will be difficult to paint somebody I don't like, even if if the physical is good. If I don't like it, him or her, it will be difficult.
Yeah, a connection. Do you find, is there a difference for you painting from like you're saying, like other photographers' photographs where you've never met the person, versus somebody you know? Is there a big difference for you in that process in the painting, or it's all the same?
Not really. Yeah, it's the same. Yeah. For example, I have a friend. She's a photographer from Poland, and I never meet her. And I discover actually I take a picture on the internet about a friend. I took I don't remember, and I contacted this man, and I asked, okay, can I use this picture of you? And he said, yeah, you can, but this picture was taken by my friend, so you better have to ask to her.
Okay.
So I discover the work of this girl. She's from Poland. She's a photographer, and I was shocked because his work was so good. So I contact her, and I ask her if I can use the picture of her friend. And after I use all the picture she took many years after from her.
Used a lot of her photographs.
From her too. Now it's like I know her, so it's not a problem for paint her portrait.
Yeah, because you kind of understand them.
Yes, there is something. Yeah. So it's like painting a friend I saw, but when I take a picture from a photographer and from about the people I never met, and I don't know, I never talk about it on the internet. It's kind of different, but not too much.
Yeah. So you don't have like an attachment to your models. The painting is its own separate thing.
A little, but it's not important.
Yeah, it's not important to the work.
Yeah. And the name of the Poland photographer, it's Olga Anna Markowska, if you want to go see.
Okay.
Yeah. She's very talented.
I'll try and I'll get that name from you and put them in the show notes for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, to give her a little shout out. That's cool. And then, because we were talking earlier before we were recording, and you were telling me about when you're in New York and you were actively approaching galleries. Tell me about that again, because that's also interesting to me, because I'm always confused about how many artists that I've known that didn't want to take that step. Like they always waited for the gallery to come to them. Like they don't take that initiative. And you were like actually going to galleries, like with your portfolio?
It was kind of naive too, but I really want to find a gallery. So, and my work wasn't bad, of course. But I remember I was in New York and I made a map with all the gallery, with all the street. And during days and days I walk. It was a summer, I remember, it was very hot. And I went to the gallery, give a card and a little paper with my work on and little text.
Yeah.
It was naive.
Yeah.
But when I think about it, it's funny. And I made, I don't know, maybe easily 50 gallery. 50, yeah.
50 galleries.
Yeah. Walk in Manhattan and Brooklyn a little too.
Yeah.
And nobody respond me.
You got 50 rejections.
Yeah. And it was a very good experience.
Yeah, it's a good experience, right?
Only a man, and he stole me money. He said me, you can rent my space.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, so you paid $800 to rent a space to put on your own show.
But after I returned in Paris,
and
a friend of me called me and said, the gallery is it's closed now. So what? And I tried to contact the owner of the gallery, and it was disappear, poof, with my money.
God damn, that sucks.
But very good experience.
Yeah,
and
all those.
At this moment, I decided to stop. Ask to gallery and to work, and to wait. People, gallery come to me.
Right.
My girlfriend told me, it's why you do this. you it's not a method. It's never happen. That will never happen. But I was very motivated, and that's happened.
Yeah, yeah. And so is that because you're working with 2 galleries now? Yeah.
Yeah.
Is Gallery Flash
Yes, in
and
Munich,
Robert Fontaine?
in Miami. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And is that how those came about? They approached you?
The first gallery was Gallery Flash.
Yeah.
They saw my work in blog, in article on the internet.
Okay.
And after they know Robert Fontaine Gallery, so 2 years after, they introduced me, and we work now. Yeah.
Oh,
so
nice. How much is it? So, I mean, you've been doing this for a while now. So, because that was when you were running around New York doing that. What year was that?
it was in 2013, 2014.
Okay, yeah. So it was a while. God, 7 years. Now that we're in 2020, that was 7
Yes.
years ago. And so a lot's changed. The landscape's changed now with social media and websites and all that. Has that changed anything for you?
Yeah, it was very helpful.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks to internet, I can
Right.
say that.
Yeah, yeah.
Because I was nothing. I was nobody. I'm nobody yet, but you can, from your little apartment, you can spread your work,
Yeah.
and the world can see it. This is great. When you talk about this, when you think about it, it's great. So, it's crazy, So many people from around the world saw my work, and things made like this,
Yeah.
You work, you take photo, you put on the internet, and the world is aware about this. So it's
Yeah.
It's
Has that?
crazy.
Do you think that's affected your process at all, or your motivations?
I think, yeah.
In what
Because
way?
I think, how did artists before internet? You in your city, you have to find a gallerist before to show your work,
Right, to get
or
anyone to see it.
Yeah, or just little people know you, friends, and you can show it. But with internet, it's great, and so 1,000 people will see your work in a minute, so that it's a motivation for you to work, to paint, and it's that will be you don't want disappoint people,
Right.
and
Yeah.
many people, a lot of people.
Yeah.
So you have to
Thousands or more people. Yeah.
you have to give a work, a great work,
Yeah.
the better you can. So it's a motivation for you.
Yeah. That's a really interesting perspective, because I find most people, it seems like they lose sight of that. Like it's sometimes, and I think I've done this too. Like I don't know how to word this. You get things out, you want to get something out so quickly that you actually sacrifice your quality.
After, no, yeah.
Yeah.
Of
So you
course.
really think about that even more then.
Yeah,
Even
but
more than before. You're like, it's got to be better. It's gotta
until
be good.
I'm not satisfied about my work, I don't take picture, and I don't spread it on the internet, so that can take a lot of time.
Yeah.
But yeah,
So you don't let
I have
it.
to
You
be
don't let it
satisfied
rule you.
myself.
It doesn't. It's not telling you what to do. You're like, okay, I have this platform. I'm going to make the best work possible to put on there.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And even if that takes so much time, that will take so much time, and
Yeah.
okay, people will be wait. Yeah, but yeah, it's how I told you, it's like a movie. You have to show to the people great things you can use. The better you can do it, the better you can do.
Right.
Yeah.
Do you kind of use that as because we were talking about before we were recording the importance of like people being honest with you about your work, because you want your work to improve. Because we were talking about that with the rejections. You were saying how the rejections from all those galleries are a good thing because it builds your character, right? You learn to take rejection, and you were saying that now that's why when you show it to your friends or anyone you know, you want honest feedback because you're trying to be better.
Exactly. Yeah.
Is that something that you think like you can use too through social media? Like in a way,
I think people are honest on the internet and maybe sometimes cruel.
Yeah.
So
For sure,
it's cool.
Yeah,
because you can see what's happened really.
Yeah. Instant feedback.
But most of the time, people are so nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
I find, especially in the art community. I think it's the art community is smaller than we think it is. So there's a lot of good people in there,
and that push you. It's great.
Yeah.
I'm very grateful about people follow me and all. It's very great.
Yeah,
it's great.
Awesome. Cool. Well, I think that's a pretty good one. We've gone for about an hour. What do you have coming up, man? What are your plans in 2020?
In 2020, I work on a solo show in Gallery Flash in Munich for June.
Oh, okay.
Or nice. July.
We don't know yet. Summer this year?
Yes.
Okay.
And in January, there is an art fair in Miami with Robert Fortin Gallery too. And maybe a solo show we don't know yet. And after project will become during the year.
Yeah, nice. Cool. Well, I appreciate you coming down to the studio, man. It was really nice to talk to you.
Thanks, John.
Because I've been, admire your work quite a bit, man. I've been looking at it for a while. So
thanks so much.
Cool. Thank you.
Thank you.
We're done.